So my name is Brandi Harris. In August of 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma. I'm 1 year cancer-free. I have the distinction of saying that I went through cancer surgery with my sister. She was also diagnosed with cancer a few weeks before me. We are doing very well. My story of cancer began over 12 years ago with my father when he was diagnosed with colon cancer. My sister and I took care of him through that cancer. We stood by him while he had radical, crazy surgery and had to get a stomach made. That was crazy. It gave us 2 more years with that. They weren't the best years of his life, but we had them. Unfortunately, he did pass at a very young age. My mother was then diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years later, and that was, wasn't ready for that. And, you know, I watched over her like a hawk after what we had been through with Dad. And she made it through, and here she is 13 years later. She's still cancer-free, and, you know, that's wonderful. Then my sister was diagnosed with cancer, and I didn't know what to think. There's my beautiful sister, 3 years younger than me, and she has to go through this, and she's got 2 beautiful little girls, and that just made me crazy. And all she kept saying was, "Sister, you have to go. You have to go get checked." And I said, "No, y'all are crazy. Nothing's wrong with me." And then, wow, hey, I have breast cancer. So I'm stubborn, I'm hard-headed. They said, "Oh, we see something." I said, "That's scar tissue. I've already had reconstructive surgery," because, you know, I was naturally blessed. And they're like, no, really, we want to check it some more. So they did biopsies, and yeah, I had cancer. Couldn't believe it, had cancer. Fortunately for me, my sister had already made all the appointments with all the right doctors. So I just piggybacked onto those. And we had surgery together. We stayed in the same hospital. Avalo was wonderful. My nurse, Sweet Caroline. Thank you, Sweet Caroline. I couldn't remember your name. That drip was great. Oh my gosh, I have the best care team ever. So I would like to thank Dr. Lemieux for absolutely getting on my case and making me go get a mammogram because I hadn't done it in a few years. I would like to thank Dr. Sullivan for giving me this beautiful new body and making me feel like a woman again. It's very difficult when you lose a part of yourself, even when it's rebuilt. It's never the same. I would like to thank Dr. Lagarde for taking out the cancer. Nobody else can do stuff like that. And then I would love to thank Dr. Carrender, who takes care of me and who will be taking care of me for the next 5 years or so, making sure this cancer doesn't come back. I have a wonderful, wonderful care team, and to each of them I say thank you. You all saved my life. I would like to thank my sister for not necessarily, you know, being my buddy, but for being my buddy and going through this with me. My mother for being the rock that she is. Each one of my aunts for being the fighters that they are, because when you're surrounded by the strong women that we're all surrounded by, you have no choice but to make it through. You're not allowed to give up. I would like to thank Brian, my sweet boyfriend, who took care of my dog for a month, because that's not easy. He's a cat person. And who else do I need? I need to thank JB, my stepdad, who cooked for us and took care of us when we were sitting in his house occupying his man room. All I can do is laugh, because if you cry, then you're just gonna keep crying. So I chose to laugh and to face it head on and to just fight and never give up. I don't think the venue is ready for all of the noise that our family is going to bring when they see the 3 of us walking down the runway, because if you've never encountered them all at once, it's really something to behold. And I think it's gonna be fantastic. You know, my mom and my sister and I, we're like peas in a pod now that my sister's moved home. We love to do everything together. So it'll just be one more thing that we get to do and we get to share with each other, and The girls will be there cheering us on, and our aunts are going to be out of control. So please unite, be ready for them. Here we are today, 1 year later, and this is my story, and I'll be a fighter for the rest of my life.